new snowmobile
They meet
on.
the same night that we went.
There's nobody who wanted to buy them, you know.
Everybody stand and let's have a little John Denver this morning.
All right, John boy.
Welcome to my morning, welcome to my day. Yes, I'm the one responsible, I made it just this way. To make myself some pictures, see what they might bring. I think I made it perfectly, I wouldn't change a thing. La la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la. Welcome to my happiness, you know it makes me smile. It pleases me to have you here for just a little while we open up the spaces, try to break some change. And if the truth is told, they will never come again. La la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la. Welcome to my morning, welcome to my day. Yes, I'm the one responsible, I made it just this way. To make myself some pictures, see what they might bring. I think I made it perfectly, I wouldn't change a thing. La la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Do we have anybody here for the first time today? Okay, would you be willing to share your names with us?
Sure. Barbara and Charlie Simmons.
Well, welcome. Did you get your red hearts?
Did.
Great. And I will tell you what that's all about in just a moment.
Okay.
Well, as you all know, this doesn't happen just all by itself because there is a wonderful team of people that help make Sunday mornings happen. Just starting our day as always with our musicians today, Sally and Jamie McAllister. Our speaker today, Deborah Olive. Our board member today will be Cindy. And of course, all this wonderful sound and all this wouldn't happen without Mark. And then of course, I'm Nora Clemens. So, now with our next song.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. Letting fear and worry fall away from me, I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Also making our morning happen is our prayer chaplain.
That would be me, but I'm not going to stand up. Hi, everybody. Good morning.
So if you
Love to pray with you at the end of service if you are in
feel like
need of
you
prayer support.
need any prayer or just want to say thank you to God for something, Candace will be available after the
Hanging
service.
out.
So if you're new to Unity today, at Unity of Bremerton, we welcome you in the spirit of love. We want you to know that no matter where you are on your journey of faith, you are always welcome here. We know that the world is a better place when we are willing to share our hearts. We give you this heart as a symbol of the steadfast spirit that lives within each of us, and we ask you to carry this symbol as a member of the Red Heart Fellowship. Let it be a reminder that the love of God is always with you and to share your heart wherever you go. The red heart is a symbol of fellowship in the world, can spread love one heart at a time. Let's start the movement here. And if you're visiting for the first time, we would like to request that you come back at least 2 more times to get a feel for how it is, because we have different speakers every week right now while we search for a new minister. So Unity happenings, most of them are in your bulletin. Today is our guest speaker is Reverend Deborah Olive, and her talk is Growing on Purpose, Spiritual Evolution, 4 Questions in God. And afterwards she will be giving a workshop on meditation 2.0 from noon to 2 o'clock. And if you would like a greater sense of calm and deeper connection with your spiritual and your daily life, all are welcome to attend. Next month, February 4th, February, is Reverend Karen Hamilton and musician David Duvall. And on the 6th, the first Tuesday of every month, Suzanne Auclair, New Moon Circle, Spiritual Star Talks, includes many reading. And then the next following week is on Saturday the 10th is the men's group. And the theme is going to be guided meditation, and includes breakfast for $5. And Ron Savage leads that up. And then on the 11th is our guest speaker is Joanna Gabriel with our musicians Sally and Jamie. And now for our board member weekly report with Jill.
Good morning. So we want to remind you that we're live streaming the service, so we ask you to keep your conversations down, please, especially during the candle lighting and paper burning. Oh. Okay, is that better? Okay. Unity of North Kitsap has a weekly meditation on Tuesday nights. On Tuesday, January 30th at 7, the Mystical Didgeridoo by Dr. Gale, as he plays different didgeridoos with their mystical sounds. This is not a musical performance, instead it's an individual experience which can be healing, relaxing, and help some reach deep levels of meditation. All are welcome. And as was said, the next men's group meeting will be on the 2nd Saturday in February. That's the February 10th, and the topic will be guided meditation. A sign-up sheet is on the table in the fellowship area. Please bring a friend. And we want to remind everyone that prayer request forms are available in the pocket on the back of the seats in front of you, and you can put them in our prayer box up here. Where is it? Oh, there, right there. Or you could put them in the offertory bags as they're passed around. And the chaplains are also, are also available to pray with you after the service on Sundays. Well, the board met last Sunday and reviewed suggestions made by the Viability Committee to help sustain us. One suggestion is that we actively participate in community and local events. Ron is researching upcoming local events so that we may be able to support them. We may also provide a little table with crayons and coloring pages for the kiddies. We're considering holding a craft fair in the spring and again in the fall. We know we have many talented artsy craftsy people in our group, and that would be a great way to share your talents, make a little money, and share some of the proceeds with Unity of Bremerton. We may also be able to allow outside crafters to rent a table from us to share in the fundraising and exposure to the local community. And we're looking for someone to act as our coordinator for these events. A sign-up sheet, again, is available in the fellowship area, and no dates have been chosen yet for these events, and we'll keep you posted once we know if there's interest. The board also discussed and approved a monthly family fun night. This event is for socializing, not fundraising. We may have game nights, we may show movies, we may come up with other fun things to do. The first family fun night is scheduled for Saturday, February 24th from 6 to 9 p.m. Anyone interested in this event, please sign up. There's another sign-up sheet in the fellowship area. They're all there. So next week, Reverend Karen Hamilton joins us with Super Soul Sunday, Never Stop Believing. Wear your team's gameware or colors on February 4th at 10 a.m. for this special event. Must be a football game. I wouldn't know. We promise to be done in plenty of time for you to get home to watch the game. It's not tennis. Thank you.
Unfortunately, we're not going to get to say, "Go Hawks."
I know.
Maybe next year. So we're going to light the Christ candle, which represents the Christ light within each one of us. Together we'll say our invocation. Together.
We are welcoming communities supporting our mutual quest for spiritual truth.
And this is our invocation.
There is one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life. God, good, omnipotence.
Now it's time for handshakes and hugs. And remember that there's going to be social time after the service. If you have longer conversations that would like to take place.
She said she was going to read her line.
Welcome. I am Marilyn, and you'll be our town meeting. Oh, are you? Me too.
How are you?
Pretty good. My name is Lynn.
Wherever you went.
Good morning. My name is Lynn. I'm Robert. Barbara. Nice to meet you, Barbara. Officially, I'm Nora. I'm Charlie.
Good to see you. Hey, James. Hello. We're Port Orchard. Yep. First time we've been. Morning.
Oh, sorry. Good morning, dear. Nice to meet you, Charlie.
Here we go.
Welcome here. Debbie also. Good to meet you.
How are you? I'm Charlie. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing life today. I'm choosing life today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing life today. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today.
Today's daily word is live boldly. As spirit in expression, I move through my life boldly and joyfully. I might have been tempted in the past to tiptoe through life. Perhaps I've been concerned that living with too much enthusiasm might threaten whatever degree of spiritual awareness I had achieved. Well, Jesus had a different message and set a different example. He lived his life boldly, whether he was teaching, demonstrating, or sharing a meal with friends. He could have separated from the world for a quiet life of contemplation. Instead, he carried his radically new spiritual message into the very heart of the world in which he lived. By following Jesus' example, I accept the joys and challenges it will contain. As spirit in expression, I move through my life boldly and joyfully. Now this is from Luke 12, verse 32, and I dearly love this one. I had to add that on my own because this one truly speaks to me. Do not be afraid, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Today, as spirit in expression, I move through my life boldly and joyfully. God bless us, little flock.
Sorry, I read that wrong.
Create in me a clean heart, oh God, and renew a right spirit within me. Create in me a clean heart, oh God, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from thy presence, O Lord. Take not thy Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of our salvation, and renew a right spirit within me. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me.
What song? Song. It made me think of Tony and how much we miss him playing his bass. Now let's bass bass. That being that nice tall thing. Now let's give a good welcome to our speaker, Deborah.
Wait.
Oh.
We got a song first. We
Another
got a song first. Another one.
Sit down, Nora. Okay, let's enjoy Jamie.
Okay, I know you didn't get, some of you didn't get a chance to sing this song on New Year's Eve, so you're gonna get a chance now.
So there.
So there. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. And surely you'll buy your cup, and surely I'll buy mine. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for days of old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for days of old lang syne.
Well, good morning. It is so good to see you, and I always look forward to coming and visit and seeing new faces and faces that I have seen, some of you for years, some of you in a past life of mine. So I was the Unity minister at the Tacoma Church, and so some of the Tacoma people that are here knew me back in the day, and likewise. So it is always wonderful to see you. And I'm curious about the journey that you are on. We share something in common, and that is our entry into Unity, right? How many of you, when you very first came to a Unity church, you felt like you'd come home? Yeah. It might be a little early for you. Have you all been to other Unity churches? Or, oh wow, this is awesome. So, it felt like coming home. And it's different for different people why it felt like coming home. You know, for me, it was a place where I discovered I didn't have to check my brain at the door. You know what I mean? It's like a faith where I could be who I am. I was trained as a biochemist, for heaven's sake. So it was like checking my brain at the door was not an option. And I came into Unity and there was an invitation to think. to think about my life, to understand, the power of my mind and the connection, that my mind was not just stuck up here in my brain, but it was connected to my heart, and that it was connected to all of you, and that it was connected to the divine. For the first time when I came to Unity, I was told, and I had to come to believe it myself, that I could have a personal relationship with God. A personal relationship with God. And as much as I love the painting at the top of the Sistine Chapel, God reaching out and touching the finger of man, of humanity, as much as I love that, that was the God that was away from me, barely reaching out, barely touching. And in Unity, what I was given was the opportunity to realize that there is a spark of the divine in me. That changed everything. And for a while, I have to tell you, it was a really personal religion for me. Religion, spiritual path. It was very, very personal. And then I came to the understanding that God is in all of you too. That, each and every one of us is special with the divine inside, but it's not just one of us, it's all of us. So in that early time and understanding, the power of my thoughts and sitting down and meditating, and oh my goodness, to be able to sit and meditate and feel and experience the divine was new for me. I'd had prayer experiences. I'd had, some pretty mystical experiences by then, but the idea of actually knowing that presence of the divine moment to moment, that was new. And life was fresh. And I was so hungry for these teachings. I spent 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes at the end of the day in my prayer and meditation, because I couldn't wait to connect on the cushion, as it were, on the chair, however we do that, to connect with the divine. And then to bring that into my day-to-day living. And how is that going to show up? And I read books, oh my gosh, I bought 2 books a month for 3 years, just eating up these new ideas. And for me, I was young, it was new, it was fresh, and I got into the idea of manifestation. And I have to tell you, this sounds a little weird when you're first coming to Unity, but it works. And you can change you can change traffic lights from red to green. Yeah. And have parking places when you get there. Right. And so it was that, and it was just so amazing. And of course, as I've been around Unity, and I've watched what's really amazing, and those are the transformations. When somebody comes into Unity or has been in this way of life for a time, and there's a son or a daughter that's estranged, haven't heard from them in years and years. And every year we did a special Unity Basics course, so we could teach the process, we could teach the principles. And almost every time somebody had an amazing experience right during that class. And I will never forget a husband and wife who had not heard from their son in 11 years. And they just longed to hear from their son. And during that class, we prayed with them. We created a mastermind group with them. And during that class, 8 weeks, during week 7, they got a phone call from their son.
Wow.
And I can't tell you how many times I've watched those kinds of experiences happen for people. Or someone comes to Unity because they're hurting. They've gone through a divorce. And life is upside down now. And it's time to catch moorings. It's time to find something deeper.
And so this experience of connecting with the divine changes their lives. It doesn't happen overnight most of the time, but over a period of time, sometimes 6 months, sometimes 2 years, remarkable changes happen. And you know, the more I live, the more I appreciate what it takes to actually change. Our habits are strong. And the things that we, you know, Paul said it so well, why do I do the things I don't want to do? You know, he blamed the devil. Well, good luck with that. Our thinking gets into habits and we stop changing. So what do we do with a habit that has been there for years and years? What do we do to shift that habit? Well, our prayer work supports us in shifting our thinking and then shifting the way that we behave. The other thing that happens is we're a part of a community. And that was a huge piece for me of coming home, was being a part of a community where people were for each other. Like we couldn't wait to see each other and see what's new in your life and is there a way I can support you? And we had just a whole lot of fun as well. So it's that sense of belonging. When we really recognize God everywhere present, we really recognize the light of God in the eyes of the people that we see, it changes us. And so we teach love. One of the things I loved about Unity and continue to love about Unity, but what I'm talking about when I walked in the door, was that we actually practiced the principles. And we didn't just talk about it on Sunday morning. We had places where we can put it into our lives. So my life changed radically when I came into Unity, in small ways and in big ways. Certainly having a calling and becoming a Unity minister is a pretty big change, but many, many ways. So here's the question I want to ask. Once we've been on this path for a while, and I appreciate being here for the first time, so this is a little different talk, but once we've been on this path for a while, what do we do to keep it fresh? You know, that beatitude, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness' sake, for they shall be fulfilled. Do you still have that same hunger and thirst after the time that you've been in these teachings? Or is it same-o, same-o? Do we expect the son or the daughter to call back? And if they don't, we're disappointed. Do we notice the ways that God is present in our lives during the day? And does it light us up? Are we excited about it? So this is really a talk about engaging our principles when they've gotten to be a habit. And what do we do to continue to grow on purpose? So I've got a story for you. How many of you are familiar with Eat, Pray, Love? The book, the movie, Eat, Pray, Love. So Elizabeth Gilbert wrote that book. She tells a story. She was at the JFK airport. This was after the book had come out. And there were two little Italian women, older, kind of feisty, and they were obviously friends. And one of them came up to her and said, "Do you have something to do with that Eat, Pray, Love thing that's going around?" And she goes, "Yep, that would be me." And the other one kind of slaps her friend and she says, "See, I told you so. She's that girl. She's the one who wrote the book based on the movie." Wow. Eat, Pray, Love. And Elizabeth shares, she says, "I'm that gal. You know, had this great hit, got famous, had this huge success, and then something happened. I got writer's block. Because how could I top that?"
I've gotten to this spot, no matter what I write now, people are going to be disappointed. The people who loved Eat, Pray, Love are going to be disappointed because this book isn't that. And the people who didn't like Eat, Pray, Love aren't going to like it because that gal's still alive and writing. And she's like, she got to the point where it was just so blocked up inside, she thought, you know what? I'm just going to stop writing. I'm just going to go to the country and raise corgis. You know, that's it. And she said, I couldn't do it. She said, because I'm a writer. It's all I ever wanted to be, was to be a writer. And so here she is in this dilemma. How does she top what she once did? And she said, during that time, she felt really, really connected to the young woman that she used to be. The woman who, for 6 years, was writing, trying to make it, sending her manuscripts off and getting rejection letters over and over again. For 6 years, she sent manuscripts off. And she'd get home and open the mailbox, and there'd be the rejection letter over and over again. And it's like there were so many times she wanted to quit. Just throw it away. And she said, but I couldn't. I'm a writer. It's all I ever wanted to do. And she said, I always knew that the way out was to go back over, put my seat in a chair, and start writing. Come home. She said, that's the place where my home is when I'm sitting there and I'm writing. Come home. And she was trying to figure out why she felt so connected with this young woman who had been a failure for so many years while she was working, waitress jobs and whatever she needed to do so she could write. And the woman she was after Eat, Pray, Love. It was like they were so far apart. What was the same? And then she got it. She said, most of us live life in this little space. It's our sweet spot. This is where we live life. And when we're in a spot where we're failing, it's way over here. It's not the sweet spot. It's over here. And she said, this wasn't so different because now I was living really successful. I was way over here. And the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between huge success and huge failure. We just know we're not in the sweet spot.
Right.
And she's like, ow. And she discovers so much when she's writing, and so that's how she discovered this. And it came to her that what she really needed to do was the same thing that young woman did who was failing. And that was get herself back in the seat and start writing. And so she wrote her next book. And the book went out, and have you heard of the book Committed?
Yes.
Okay, we got a couple. It didn't go anywhere. It wasn't a smash hit. But when she wrote that book, she said, now she knew, I'm a writer. It doesn't matter whether people love the work or don't like the work. I'm a writer. I will keep coming back and sitting down. I will write because I'm a writer. And then, of course, she wrote the book Big Magic. People liked it. But what had happened was her identity was no longer connected to, are people liking it or not liking it? She had freed herself up from that. And so here's my question for us in Unity. One of the things I like to talk about for new members is that Unity has waters so shallow, it's safe for a child. We also have waters so deep that spiritual giants can swim. I think we've done a really great job with creating an experience, a spiritual movement, a gathering place where as newbies we can be totally inspired. Our lives can change. We can have amazing experiences. And what happens when it's no longer wow? How long was it wow for you? Maybe it's still wow. Maybe you're one of the spiritual giants who's found that spot. You know, is it a wow for you? And so that's what I wanted to address today. You know, and Paul talked about it too. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, I think it's verse 11. When I was a child, I thought as a child. I spoke as a child. And then as I grew, I set away childish things. And so there's that place of growing. What do we do to consistently grow in unity, in our faith, in our experience of the divine? And what do we do so that when we wake up in the morning, we're excited for another day? You know, I've got this little habit. It's like wake up in the morning and it's a brand new baby day. I get to live it again. I get to start over. I hit the reset button when I go to sleep at night, and when I get up in the morning, it's a brand new baby day. And how do we create that together? So I brought a few questions today, and there's 4 of them, and they go in a particular order. And when we're asking those questions, I believe it keeps our faith alive. It's part of our coming home every day. When I wake up, it's a brand new baby day. It's my way of coming home. It's remembering the divine. It's remembering in the midst of all the stuff that is going on in our world, that there is that presence of God that is love, that is all powerful. It's a brand new baby day. What are those 4 questions? The first one is, what am I grateful for? How many of you have a gratitude journal? Or have had one at some point in your life? Yeah. Oh my gosh. I found a way to do gratitude journals that just lights me up all over again. It's kind of a new way to work with gratitude journals. So if you've never kept one, the idea is to simply write down at the end of the day what it is that you're grateful for. And have 5 or 10. You pick the number, but every day, 5 things. What am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? And so it gets us in the habit of looking for gratitude. Here's the shift. At the end of the day, the first day you do this, write down 5 things that you're grateful for. The next morning when you get up, read those 5 things you're grateful for, add 1 to it. At the end of the day, read those 6 things you're grateful for, add 1 to it. Now when you're reading it, you're not just reading it. You're generating a spirit of gratitude in your heart. You're generating the energy of gratitude. You know, one of the things that's been said for those of us that like to study a lot is that we can be overread and underdone. So this is generating that feeling, connecting with spirit, connecting with what am I grateful for? So it exudes right out of us. So at the end of that day, now we've got 7. The next morning you're going to read 7 and add 1 in the morning. Read 8 and add 1 in the evening. Keep this rolling 10 days at a time. What's amazing is now you're looking back and you're seeing the things that are happening in your life, the things that are grateful. You're cultivating that. There's this sense of momentum that's building. So what am I grateful for? Now it's really skillful if you look at what am I grateful for that's kind of ordinary. You know, I'm grateful that there's heat in my home. That's kind of ordinary, right? But it's like all you have to do is have the thermostat go out and it reminds you how grateful you are for your heat. So anyway, it's like, what am I grateful for? And then what surprises me that I'm grateful for? You know, yesterday I did an open house. I've got a duplex and 1 unit is open for rent. And we did an open house last week. Nobody came. We did an open house this week. 3 people were there early. Yes. I'm grateful for that. And I have to say, I was a little bit surprised they were so early. You know, it was like, wow, this is cool. They're looking. They're, you know, this is in process. I never doubt that it's in process or that it's working, but it's like there's a surprise. That phone call out of the blue, Thinking about my sister, and she picks up the phone and calls me. I'm always the one that calls her. She called me. That's a surprise. Gratitude. So taking a look at gratitude and really generating the feelings. You know what? This is such a great community. Like, if somebody walked up to you on a Sunday morning and said, what are you grateful for? Bam, it's right there, because it's right here. That's a way to keep things fresh and alive. Like every day, what am I grateful for? Next one. What do I praise myself for? Uh-oh, this gets personal. Like, how many of you were taught when you were youngsters that it's not okay to talk, like to say good things about yourself? It's like, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to brag on yourself. You don't want to be seen as a braggart, And some of you obviously weren't taught that. I'm getting some very interesting looks. Once we've been in unity for a while, we understand that it's not bragging, it's expressing the divinity. It's like, yeah, this is how God's showing up in me right now. I praise myself for that. Praise myself for opening up to allow that expression in my life. Story. A friend of mine, years ago, was a dental hygienist. And she said one day, a young girl came in, she's getting her teeth cleaned, and she got up in the chair, and my friend Laura looked at her hair, and she goes, I really like your hair. And she goes, I know, most people do.
Yes.
And it was so cute because she was 8 years old. And at 8 years old, we can do these things. It's like, yeah, most people like it. Thank you. That. Praising ourselves just for being who we are. But somewhere along the line, we let it not be okay to do that. You and I need miniature celebrations throughout the day, throughout the week. A little pat on the back for ourselves is a good thing. It's like, thank you, God, for this. What I find is that oftentimes the places where I praise myself are the places where it's been a little bit difficult.
I just want to say one thing about being grateful. I'm grateful that my tooth does not ache today because it ached yesterday, and I thought it was going to be aching today, and I'm grateful to God that it doesn't ache today.
There we go. There we go. There we go. And so sometimes what I praise myself for is when I hear somebody say something, I'm actually able to keep my mouth shut. That is worth praise. That is worth praise.
Cancel.
I'm going to bring something else into this story. Yeah, because that is worth praising ourselves. The next piece is to take a look at what is impacting my energy. This is number 3. What is impacting my energy? And I'm looking for energy gainers and energy drainers. What are the things that pull me down? What are the things that are lifting me up? So, lifting me up is getting out of the house, arriving on time. It's a little thing, but you know what? This is about celebrating the little things. It's an energy gainer. When we read our scriptures, we see in Philippians, whatever is kind, whatever is true, think on these things. So those are the things that are the energy gainers. Now here's the trick, and this is where your comment is going to shift just a little bit, I hope. And that is, it's valuable to identify an energy drainer. When we can see it, we can bring the love and the wisdom of the divine to it. We have to be able to see what's going on in our world more than ever before. And we have to be in that place where we've strengthened ourselves with gratitude, with praise, so that we have that sense of light and spirit within us, so that when we connect with these things that are energy drainers, we are bringing the light to the dark. You can't bring the dark to the light. It doesn't work. The dark to the light diminishes the energy of what we're trying, as human beings, it diminishes our energy. But when we are strong, think of it as a balloon with air inside, and it's strong, it's pushing out. That balloon expands. That's what we need to be on the inside. Gratitude and praise put us in a place so that we can meet the energy impactors in our lives with the Spirit of God, with the Holy Spirit, with the divine, in a manner that is following in the footsteps of Jesus. You know, do as I have done, he said. Follow me. And so we're called to that. You know, Jesus did not run. He was bold. He walked into wherever he needed to walk into because he knew who he was. So energy gainers and energy drainers, my friend, it is important to recognize those. And when we ask that question, what are those energy gainers and drainers in our lives? The next question is, what action will I take? Now, I have to say, a conscious choice not to play is okay. But simply turning the other way, you know, pushing it back because we don't think we're strong enough, oh my gosh, we're missing that opportunity. Our daily word this morning, to be bold, to live bold in the face of whatever that is. So we've got 4 questions. We're building the energy field. What am I grateful for? What do I praise myself for? What do I praise my family for? The people that are in my life. And then what are the energy gainers and drainers? And it's so easy for us to think that what we want to do is look at the energy gainers and celebrate that. Please do. Remember the other side of the equation, energy drainers. We teach God is everywhere present. That means in that too. You know, I never thought that I would live in a United States that is so polarized as it is today. We teach oneness. And how we do oneness as we grow into the spiritual giants that we are is to be able to be present to whatever there is that looks like it's different, that looks like it's polarized, and bring the light to that. We have been prepared for many, many years to be the light in the world that the world is calling for right now. We have been prepared for many years. And it shows up differently depending on where we are in our lives. You know, the light, the darkness that we may need to bring our light to might be in our own body as an illness. It might be with our own family as we support our parents in making choices that they do, that they need to make. It may be in making sure that we've got the income that we need. But for heaven's sakes, God is infinite. God is magnificent. Let us not get so myopic that we don't see how God wants to express through us today. You are the light. We all are that light, but we've got to shine it. In just a few minutes, I'm going to be doing, actually it looks like about an hour. In about an hour, I'll be doing a prayer and meditation workshop. It's called Meditation 2.0. And it's the meditation I wish I had been taught 30 years ago. There is a direct path to opening our heart and our mind to spirit that sometimes on the journey we can make way too complicated. And so making it simple again. can open us up so that we are that light. And so I'd like to extend that invitation to everybody. And I think I'd like to do just a brief meditation right now. And so if you would simply become still and taking in a deep breath. Seek first the kingdom, and all else shall be added to you. Seek first the kingdom. And so as you breathe in the light. Breathe in the love. And allow yourself to feel the flow of the divine, of the great all that is. This is who you are. You have this within you. So sweet, sweet Spirit, wherever there are blocks, wherever there's an unforgiveness, wherever there's a resentment, wherever there is a place inside of me that is low self-worth, I open to your Spirit, the Holy Spirit moving in and through me to dissolve anything unlike your love, your wisdom, your blessings. And so I invite you to imagine that there is a warm light that is surrounding you and enfolding you, that infills every cell in your body. This is the light of God. And feel that flow. And whatever is going on in your life right now, wherever you would like the touch of Spirit to open to a miracle, to open to a new way of seeing, invite that presence right now in your life, your world. And do so with a grateful heart. Thank you, God. Even before you know what is yours to do, simply inviting the presence of God to touch your world in this way, to guide you, to show you, to reveal what needs to be revealed, to heal what needs to be healed, to bring things into wholeness and flow, and spill your love right into this thing. Just allowing the love that you are, the love that God is, to move right into your life, fully, magnificently. See that light just spilling over. And then broaden your circle. Broaden the circle of light to connect with each person in this room. There's more than enough love to go around, so just spilling your love over each person in this room. And letting that move to spill over each person on the west coast of this United States. Just expanding your circle for our entire country and for every person on the planet, no matter what is going on in their lives. See the love of God in filling them, guiding them, opening hearts. And one heart at a time, we create a connected and loving experience. Thank you, God. Amen. Okay.
This is another John Dender song. As you can see, we like John Dender. Been doing it together for a long time. It's called Rhymes and Reasons. So you speak to me in sadness and the coming of the winter, fear that is within you now that seems to never end, and the dreams that have escaped you, and the hope that you've forgotten, and you tell me that you need me now, you want to be my friend, and you wonder where we're going, where's the rhyme, where's the reason, and that you cannot accept. It is here we must begin to seek the wisdom of the children and the graceful way of flowers in the wind. For the children and the flowers are my sisters and my brothers. Their laughter and their loveliness would clear a cloudy day, like the music of the mountains and the colors of the rainbow. They're a promise of the future and a blessing for today. And you wonder where we're going, where's the rhyme and where's the reason, and that you cannot accept. It is here we must begin to seek the wisdom of the children and the graceful way of flowers in the wind. For the children and the flowers are my sisters and my brothers. Their laughter and their loveliness would clear a cloudy day. And the song that I am singing is a prayer for non-believers. Come and stand beside us, we can find a better way.
So now it's time for our love offering. As you're preparing your tithes and love offerings today, think about how blessed you are, and as you are writing your checks or giving your gift, send your blessings out. have our chaplain of the week and our board member of the week. Come up. Come on up.
Come on, Dad.
We're moving up. We'll say that on the screen.
I give willingly, joyfully, and lovingly, knowing that God is the constant source of my supply. I give with graciousness and receive with gratitude.
For our Food for Life bag, is there anybody that would like to take it home and fill it? Okay, Tracy, thank you. We'll have that up here for you. And now it's time for our good news. Is there anybody with some good news that they would like to briefly share with us?
I might have a luck to get another car after all these months. I'm hoping on the 3rd of February that I come home with a car.
So we will just hold that in prayer
Hold it
with
in
you.
prayer.
Yes, and is there anybody here with a birthday in January? Yeah, we did that.
Melinda.
Linda?
February. Oh, it's February.
Yeah, we-
February's
Yeah, this is.
Okay.
Well, just a reminder, we do have the workshop following service today, starting at 12 o'clock, $20 love offering for Meditation 2.0. But no one will be turned away, so if you're interested, please join us.
And then we would like to remind you about our chaplain of the day. Candace is on duty, and we invite you to meet with her, and if you would like to just share any good news to get blessed with, and or you just have something on your heart that you would like to have for prayer with, then she is available. And then we'll stand and say our peace song.
And let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Thank you so much.